This morning, billionaire Paul Tudor Jones, the CEO of Tudor Investment Corporation, he was on CNBC's Squawk Box and he was dropping bombs. They just let him sit there and go on and on about the economy, the Fed, and also Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. He had a very important point about the Bitcoin and crypto industry. He specifically said, it's hard to be a bear. It's hard to bet against an industry that has so much intellectual capital flooding into it. He specifically talked about the young people inside of his own investment firm, his kids and their friends, how so many smart people, they're leaving college and they want to go work in the crypto industry. With that much intellectual capital coming into the market, you just can't be a bear. Here's exactly what Paul Tudor Jones had to say this morning.
Here's what I see. I see a generational divide, and it's a digital divide. And unfortunately, Joe, you and I are probably on the other side of it, though I think we're both scrambling as fast as we can to understand it. And I see it all the time in our quant groups. I see it all the time in my kids' friends. If you look at the smartest and brightest minds that are coming out of colleges today, so many of them are going into crypto. So many of them are going into the Internet 3.0. It's hard not to want to be long crypto because of the intellectual capital, just the sheer amount of intellectual capital that's going into that space. And clearly, if you think about the ultimate dream of crypto, it's a borderless internet, right? Where all of a sudden you have blockchain as the verification code to allow anyone on the internet to instantly connect because the blockchain verifies who they are. And then that opens up just huge possibilities. Clearly, central banks and central governments are not going to necessarily be huge fans of that, particularly when it comes to using crypto as a medium of exchange. That's the number one thing that's holding it back, is the fact that you're not going to get buy-ins from governments because they lose the ability to control the creation and the supply of money. Having said that, in a world where we're starting to deglobalize and breaking down and actually probably going reverse, that ability to have the borderless internet, that ability to have a store of value outside of necessarily having your money denominated, whether it's in rubles or yuan or dollars, it becomes very attractive. So I've got my modest allocation to crypto. I have a trading position on top of that.
Now, I think that Paul Tudor Jones got a really important point here. When I first started investing, I had a very smart investor say to me, Pomp, there's only two rules that you need to follow. Follow the money and follow the talent. And boy, was he right. Some of the best investments I've ever made were me just betting on people. I didn't even necessarily believe in their idea, or I didn't think the market would mature or be as big as they told me. All I knew was that this was an individual that I wanted to bet on. When you look at the Bitcoin and crypto industry, it's that strategy on steroids. If you want to bet on some of the smartest people in the world, some of the best engineers, some of the best investors, then betting on crypto is a no-brainer. Not only is there an incredible amount of financial capital that's flowing into the industry, but the amount of intellectual capital is overwhelming. Just as Paul Tudor Jones stated, it's hard to be a bear on crypto if there's this much intellectual capital flowing in. And I don't think that any sophisticated, intelligent person can look at all the smart young people who are working on this industry or working on this technology, can take a look at it and say, I'm out, or I'm going to bet against it. Follow the talent, follow the capital. And there's no place in the world that more capital and talent is flowing than in the Bitcoin and crypto industry. I'm a long-term bull, and I can't wait to see what all the builders and investors end up producing over the next 10 to 20 years.